With that in mind, it is my great pleasure to welcome to the stage leaders of the Oregon Business Summit tradition, Senators Ron Wyden and Senator Jeff Merkley. Senator Wyden, Senator Merkley, welcome and thank you for joining us. Senator Wyden, it was almost 20 years ago when you helped create what we have here today.
You're not going into my shady past, I hope.
We are very fortunate for that shaky past. I would also say the foundation of that premise then, which is as important today as it is now, is looking forward. But our theme, At a Crossroads, acknowledges that we have major headwinds, in particular with regards to our economy. Complex permitting, high housing costs, K-12 performance, uncompetitive taxes, and wildfires all are creating huge problems. Senator Merkley, Senator Wyden, what are you doing and what levers can you pull at the federal level that will help state and local leaders and our business community?
Maria, the first point that I think is relevant this morning is you all have always emphasized teamwork. And we're going to be talking about some of the partnerships between the federal government and the state government and the private sector. But I especially want to say thank you to this community for all the teamwork that brought us a WNBA team that we will see next spring.
Fire.
So now that we've got the basketball taken care of, here's some of the smart partnerships that Senator Merkley and I look to get results for the community. For example, we're going to talk about trade. 1 out of 4 jobs in Oregon revolve around trade. Dan Rayfield has been a great partner. I got a 51-47 vote on the floor of the Senate to knock out the Trump tariffs, but the AG is doing a great job in terms of winning the Supreme Court case, and we know we're going to be battling Trump on that forever. Healthcare is now the biggest industry in America, and we have partnerships with respect to healthcare, and I'm especially proud of working with the state on that. We can't have multi-million-dollar cancer treatments for our people, but one of the things I'm proud to be able to announce today is last week, it was announced that the negotiating round, which I wrote so that we could get a better deal on medicine, produced some cancer saving. So we're going to have some opportunities to hold down those costs. And I also would say we have 2 big wins recently to reflect on. Many of you know that Senator Merkley, Congresswoman Hoyle, and I have made sure that there is a Coast Guard helicopter on the Oregon coast in Newport. Senator Merkley and I said it was a must for fishing and tourism. It's going to pay off. And now, a little bit of surprise good news. This Wednesday, the House of Representatives is going to pass and send to the President my bipartisan Secure Rural Schools bill. This has brought Oregon more than $3 billion. $3 billion as we try to find our way to a sensible forest policy. And my colleague is going to go into that. And I want you to know, on the Energy Committee where I sit, we're trying to help Jeff in his good work on forest management by doing more prescribed burns, which I think is also going to pay off. So, Maria, I don't know if this is my right, but in the parlance of the United States Senate, how about if I yield to my terrific colleague, Jeff Merkley?
Senator Merkley.
Well, greetings, everyone. And the model that Ron laid out of going to all 36 counties every year is a model I've adopted as well. And in every part of the state, we're collecting the information on what helps the economy in that particular part of the state and how can we best assist. Because I'm on the spending committee, I've tried to follow in the footsteps of Senator Hatfield in that regard. All the pieces come through there. in trying to address the fundamentals whether it's irrigation piping in rural Oregon, where drought's having a big impact, where it's major infrastructure projects that we have a whole host of right now. But I really wanted to focus on one piece of your 5, which was the housing side, because that's very close to my heart. When I was director of Habitat for Humanity here in Portland, they had a phrase, a decent home and a decent community for every family in need. We think about that through the perspective of the family. We know how important that decent, stable setting is for a family to thrive. But when we think about it from the business perspective, we realize it's also absolutely essential. Because if you don't have affordable housing, companies don't want to locate in your area. If you have insufficient housing, and therefore you have families that are unhoused, that is a situation that is not right for the family, and it's very difficult for the community, and it affects the economy. So we have every reason to build a ladder of housing that starts with shelters, proceeds through single-room occupancies or pods, continues on through affordable apartments, and hopefully through home ownership. And I got to tell you right now, home ownership is dying for our children, and we have to restore that vision of a family being able to buy a home. So 2 things that I'm pursuing are, 1, more affordable rental strategies, including getting rid of the what are called the junk fees in the rental market. But also, one of the things that's driven up the price of housing is private equity buying up a large share of those single-family housing, including in some places 40%. And our kids just can't compete against basically a billionaire fund that can do no inspection, fast closing. So let's make sure the housing market serves the families, and it will also then serve our economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wyden.
And Maria, Jeff's housing agenda is a superb one, and I'm going to add to it. In the next tax bill, we're going to make sure there's a break for the first-time home buyer, because that's a chance to be part of the American dream.
Absolutely.
So last year, we were able to see you only on video because so much was taking place in DC. And when we think about the past year, there's been certainly a lot of change, a lot. Senator Wyden, you spoke about trade and all the issues. Tariffs have hit this state very hard as one of the largest exporters. And we also were just talking about wildfire and the issues. One of the good things is that it looks like the Fix Your Forest Act is moving. Senator Merkley, do you want to talk a little bit about wildfires, and then we'll turn it back over to talk a little bit more about trade to Senator Wyden?
Sure, absolutely, Maria. As the lead Democrat on the Interior Spending Committee, the Appropriations Committee, I've been immersed in this. We've gotten about a 10-fold increase in the funds dedicated to forest management. And people go, well, forest management, what does that term mean? Well, it's thinning, it's mowing, it's prescribed fires. It's basically taking our second growth forests and making them more fire resilient. And we really saw this impact, well, for example, with the Merkley fire. As it was approaching Central Oregon, we saw that in Sisters, we saw that not only did the fire really slow down, but the fire teams were able to get through the forest to the front of the fire. That's what we're aiming for. I've been really pushing for the BLM and the Forest Service to do that work close to the wildland-urban interface, the WUI interface. Because in the past, they were doing that a lot of work wherever it was cheapest, but if it's far away from a town, it doesn't help us prevent the town from burning. But we also have to have mills in every part of the state, or it's not economical to do this type of work. And that's why my Sawmill Act is all about helping the mills survive and continue. Now, my dad was a millwright, and we moved out of Myrtle Creek, Oregon, when the mill was shut down in adjacent town of Riddle. So we've always been kind of very much in the mode of understanding how the mills scattered around the state are essential to those communities, but they're also essential to our forest management. So let's recognize the forest fire season is going to keep getting longer. Yes, we have to do everything we can to take on climate change, but in the short term, things are going to get a lot worse. And we also have to manage the smoke, and that means that we Smoke Resilient Communities Act, another piece of legislation, help our communities prepare safe breathing spaces and be able to respond, because if you have asthma or anything else, the smoke we're suffering. And the less smoke we have, the better our economies thrive in the tourist season and the summer. So it's all tied together. The ecosystem of our forest, more fire resilient, more thriving communities, better sawmills, etc. So let's weave those things together for our future.
Thank you, Senator Merkley. For those of us in Oregon, we are one of the states that burns more acres every year over the last 5 years than any other state or province in the country. But we're also a huge exporter, and tariffs have hit this state hard. Senator Wyden, what are your thoughts?
One last point on forestry, because Jeff hits this as well. We really have to thank our Indian tribes because of what they did on prescribed burns. That is the state of the art in terms of fighting fire. The tribes, the Native Americans deserve the praise for doing this, and I'm all in on what Jeff talked about. So here we are on this erratic and destructive tariff agenda that has launched a roller coaster of uncertainty for all our key businesses. I was in Pendleton talking to the farmers recently, and they said, well, prices for wheat and things aren't very good, but the input costs are great. Ron, damn it, get him to stop changing his mind every 10 minutes because the uncertainty is just devastating. And in Oregon, it's just hitting key industries like a wrecking ball. Not just agriculture, but healthcare, construction, technology. All of them face these crushing taxes, and the taxes are really tariffs, and they're poison for Oregon. So what we've got to deal with is recognize, in my view, that we are going to be dealing with these Trump policies until his last day in office. And we have to be prepared to be at the ramparts every single day because this is something that he has always thought will drive economics. I think he's wrong. I think it's hurting so many families trying to cope with this. And predictions today are already the prices are going to launch again in January because people will stop having holiday discounts because Trump basically said that's what he wanted. So I just would like to let folks know that Rayfield is doing a great job taking this on in the Supreme Court. I think the justices basically laughed at the Trump argument that somehow this was national security. Gorsuch made fun of the Trump arguments, but we need to be prepared because this is the heart and soul of the Oregon economy. What we like to do is grow things, we like to make things, we like to add value to them, and we like to ship them all over the world because the world loves buying Oregon. But Donald Trump is making it much harder than it should be, much harder than is common sense, and fortunately, we're going to battle him in the courts. We're going to battle him in the Congress. We won 51-47. I offered to do Mitch McConnell's laundry if he would vote with us. He did. I didn't have to do the laundry. But the point is, we're going to have to be in this tariff fight every single day Trump is in office, and Oregon's going to win it because we're on the right side.
Thank you both for your leadership in 2025, 2026, and 2027 as we move forward. One of the things as you were talking about the Oregon Business Summit and all of the areas of focus is innovation. This is really a remarkable state for innovation. And once again, we are featuring innovation as part of the summit, in particular around food and beverage. And so, I don't know if you have had one of these, but Salt and Straw has created a new treat called a tacolet in conjunction with Taco Bell. And here is founder and CEO Kim Malik to ask your opinion on her tacolet. And please try the hot sauce because it's particularly spicy.
Brand new innovation. You know, the chocolate taco was discontinued about 4 years ago by Unilever. And so Salt and Straw partnered with Taco Bell to bring it back for America because we needed something like that right now. Please try one, a taco for breakfast. We have 51 stores now across up and down the East and West Coast, employing 1,500 people.
Ready to go?
So,
Don't leave home without it.
Here's the real scoop. Everything Kim makes is delicious. Enjoy Salt and Straw all the time, and then go to Fred Meyer for a rotisserie chicken.
Do it all. Well, and you all were so helpful. We imported a multi-million-dollar piece of proprietary equipment to make this,
Everybody,
and the
photo
tariffs were
opportunity
killing
for
us.
Kim.
All right.
Get us a photo. Get us a photo.
Ta-da! Cheer for Kim. Bravo.
Thank you. Do you enjoy it?
I didn't realize the Choco Taco had been.
There you go. I know, it's a travesty.
It's
the
great.
Choco Taco was discontinued. Ancho chili ice cream, we did it a little different, the Oregon way.
I like the spice that you have.
Love it.
It's really good.
Here you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
Really good, everybody. Let's try it out and support Salt and Straw, good Oregon business.
And the
that we want to expand.
Oregon food industry.
Yes. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Senator Merkley. Thank you, Senator Wyden. We're very grateful for your time this morning.
So fun.
Shake your hand, but I got
There we go.
covered with chocolate.
No worries.
Just put it
Thank
here.
you.
Put it here.
Good job.
Oh, I need a bite.
Thank you.
He won't give it up. You guys, it's so
There you go.
good.
We need a picture of that one.
Oh, good.
He doesn't want to put it down.
There you go. A tacolet. And Salt and Straw, thank you, Kim, for making life so much better for all of us every day, whether we're at Disneyland, Alaska Airlines, or of course here in Oregon, and anyone in
Kim.
your 50-some-odd stores.
Kim, high
So
five.
Thank you.
High five. Let's go,
All right.
Oregon.
Go.
Oregon. Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you again, Senators.